It feels like just yesterday, probably because it pretty much was literally yesterday that we launched FloBaseball. And yet here we are, week 2, college baseball season, just a few days away from the Round Rock Classic. And with that in mind, it is my great honor to welcome Tennessee outfielder Evan Russell aboard for, I don't know, Evan, what do you think, 10, 15 minutes? We good with that?
Sounds good.
All right, real quick, before we really get moving, I need some input. We were going to call these little weekly interview segments that we're doing a quick pitch, which I thought was a very clever name. Obviously, the baseball pun intended. Then I realized it is a clever name. It's so clever, in fact, that the MLB Network already has that name. They have a thing called the Quick Pitch Recap. Now, on the one hand, if the Astros can bang trash cans all the way to a World Series title, then I feel like we can probably get away with using Quick Pitch on FloBaseball for at least a year before they realize it. But if you have a better idea, I got to tell you, now is your opportunity. Now is the time for you to leave your mark on FloBaseball.
I think Quick Pitch is definitely it's a good name for it, but maybe like a good 90 or something like that, going down to first base or something.
Okay, all right. I'll tell you what, we'll workshop it this weekend. We'll see what we come up with.
All right, sounds good.
All right. You started 85 games in your first 2 years at Tennessee, obviously every game so far this year as well. And I did mostly ask you to come on to talk baseball, but I think that we should first go ahead and establish one thing right off the bat, and I'm comfortable going on record as having said this. I think you might have one of the biggest brains in all of college baseball. You've been on the SEC Academic Honor Roll both years, and that's cool. But the thing that really got my attention was the Google Cloud Academic All-America team. If you throw Google in front of any academic award, it just makes it sound smarter. Like, and think about it, if you were, for example, if the award were, if it was the Burger King Academic All-America team, not the same thing.
Absolutely not.
But you put Google on it, now I feel like every player's IQ is raised like 5 points because you have Google.
Yeah, I mean, the Google it's the most knowledgeable thing you could put into on the internet. You know, if you want to have information, you go to Google. So it's like, as soon as they put Google in front of the award, it raises it by at least 10%.
I couldn't agree more.
How great the award is.
We're on the exact same page. You're a business finance major, is that right?
That's correct.
All right, look, man, our VP of finance at Flo is a really good friend of mine, but I'm going to go ahead and put him on notice because I feel like if you come for his job, our hands are kind of tied. We kind of have to go with you.
Well, I mean, I don't know if he has Google in front of his name, but
last I checked, he doesn't have Google in front of his name.
I feel like that requirement is already in my favor.
Absolutely. Okay, so baseball. You guys have played 4 games, you won them all, and you have a hit in every one of them. Now, hear me out. Joe DiMaggio's hit streak was 56 games. That's the record. Tennessee plays 56 games in the regular season this year, so I have to ask, are you prepared to go the distance?
I think that's kind of lowballing me. I think even into postseason, it could even reach 70 or 70 plus. You know,
It could.
so 56 it's on the least of my worries.
Okay, you heard it here first. Evan Russell has guaranteed a 70-plus game hitting streak. That's exciting. 53 runs across the plate for you guys since Friday, and look, that's not meant to imply that you were up against the Washington Nationals pitching rotation or anything, but you put up football scores on Saturday and Sunday. So my question is, in your view, first of all, what do you think has been the biggest key to the hot start that you guys have had offensively? And more importantly, what do you think it does for everybody to see basically everybody up and down the lineup hitting and contributing early?
I think everybody in the lineup wants to see success from their teammates, and I think that plays a big part in how successful our entire team's doing. I think that guys wanting to see other people do well and get on the bases and just to help each other out by getting RBIs and moving runners over, I feel like that has played a big part in how successful we've been. But, it's only 4 games in, and it's only about how many times you can do it. And if we continue to put up runs, our pitching staff's going to be well enough to do some big things in our conference and even in this Round Rock tournament.
Well, you brought him up. I wanted to ask you, for a little inside perspective on that pitching staff. It's one of the best in the SEC a year ago, which therefore it's one of the best in the country, same thing. And you guys and it's been well documented. You lose 3 really good arms to Major League Baseball, so there were some question marks coming into the year on how it would all pan out. And then they roll the ball out. You got Chase Wallace deals, Sean Hunley deals, Chad Dallas deals, and Elijah Pleasance last night picks up his first career victory. He looks great. Garrett hasn't even taken the ball yet, and it already looks like a traffic jam at the top of the rotation. What have you seen from those guys in building toward the season, and what should we be expecting for an encore, I guess, so to speak, for a staff that posted a 3.59 ERA a year ago?
I think the competition at the top of our staff is going to be it's going to be way more competitive than last year's. I think that we don't really know our rotation yet, which is a good thing because last year we had a pretty good idea of who was going to be in what spot. But I think having guys that we feel comfortable with rolling them out in any situation, even if it's taking a starter and if we have to put him in a weekend rotation where he's coming out of the pen, I think we have plenty of guys that can do that. And I think that's healthy for our team because, I mean, the more competition you have competing for a spot, the better they're going to be.
No question. Yeah, I mean, again, you're basically at this point. I feel like you're about 5 deep with guys that you can feel comfortable with having the ball in a big spot. So I have to ask, man. I'm watching this video of you right now. You get drilled in the noggin last weekend, and then there's this brief moment of pause as you kind of adjust your lid, and then you go home to first in like 3.8 seconds flat. So I need some commentary from you on this. I need to know what's going on here.
So I get hit in the head, and I toss my bat, and I'm making sure everything's going good because I am Google scholar, or I am a Google academic All-American, so I have to make sure my head is good. And then I realize, my coach, he preaches only one gear. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I'm not going 100%, then what am I doing? So I toss the bat, and I put my head down, and I give the scouts what they want. They want a home to first 90 time. Yep. They want it as fast as possible. So I had to give them what they wanted.
You gave it to them. Sub 4, I feel like. I put my stopwatch on. I got sub 4.
Yeah, I mean, that may be the fastest I've ever ran. I don't know if the hit in the head helped me out in that aspect, but I'm just going to say that I'm only getting faster, and the work is paying off.
Yeah, cosign. I can tell. All right. Look, you're a Tennessee boy, and I have to assume, dare I assume that with respect to Mississippi State, you were probably always going to be a Vol throughout the recruiting process.
Absolutely.
Can you put it into words for me what it means for you to be in the position that you're in right now, a junior now, standing at the forefront of the program, a face, a leader of the Tennessee freaking Volunteers?
It's something that I honestly could have never really imagined me actually doing. It's a dream from everybody growing up in the state. If they play baseball, they want to be, a guy on Tennessee where they can represent the state. And just being in the position I'm in to see what we could have done last year and how short we came up, and knowing that we have the talent this year and that it's on mine and the other upperclassmen's shoulders to pretty much do something that this program hasn't done in a long time. And I mean, that's such a blessing to me to be able to have the opportunity to do that, because I mean, 2 years ago, I would have never really saw myself 85 games in as a starter and getting to lead this team to, a pretty good season.
It's a cool story, man. It's been fun to follow so far. I know you got a lot more left in you. As we kind of, obviously you guys kind of ease into and look, again, disclaimer, with respect to Western Illinois and Charlotte, we're about to ratchet things up this weekend. Let's just put it that way. So we kind of ease into it. It's going to get really real in Round Rock. So first of all, from your perspective, I want to know, what you think in terms of how important is it to challenge yourself with high-level competition, let's say, this early in the season, as you guys prepare for what we know is going to be a gauntlet in the SEC?
After these 4 games, we knew that we were good, but all due respect to our opponents, that's really nothing what we're going to see in the SEC, like you've said. But we can't control who we play. We can only control how we play. And I think that the weekend we have coming forward is going to be a true testament because, as you know, that we're not a highly ranked team right now, and there's a lot of people in this clubhouse that feel like they're being disrespected in a way. But I think we're seeing it as a challenge, and and I think that the teams that we're playing this weekend know that we're coming in with pretty much the hunt, and I think they know they have a target on their back, and they're going to put it back on ours. And I think it's going to be a great weekend of baseball, and I think that our whole team is excited.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. Right off the bat, you've got top-ranked Texas Tech under the lights on the first night of the first year of the Round Rock Classic. I don't even really know what the question I have for you is, other than just, and take it wherever you want, but in that moment, on that stage, what is that going to be like for you, for your teammates? What are you going to be feeling in that moment?
I mean, it's just going to be a true Friday night battle. It's going to be two teams that are ready to compete, and there's going to be no fear from each side of the dugout. They're going to be ready to go and show what they've been doing all off season, and I think that both teams are just going to battle it out. And I'm excited to see guys that haven't really experienced a true Friday night yet on our team, and I'm ready to see how they handle it, and especially the younger guys, as in Drew Gilbert, Jordan Beck. I can't wait to see how they handle it, which I think they're going to handle it with a lot of maturity. But I mean, it's going to be an environment that people you can't really practice. It's going to be an environment that people are just it's going to be so locked in, and two powerhouses, in my opinion, are going to be going at each other, and anybody can win, and that's what's exciting about it.
All right, last one, my man, and I'll let you go. Look, an SEC title is the goal. Omaha's the goal. All that goes without saying. But what I want to know is what you want to know. What you want to be able to say about this team when you guys hit the road on March 13th for South Carolina.
I want to say that we have done everything in our power to be prepared. I feel like last season whenever we went into Auburn, we weren't for sure that we were good enough to compete in the SEC, even though we had done everything we could going up prior to that tournament or to that series. But I want to be able to go into South Carolina and be like, we belong here, and we're going to do some damage.
All right, one more time for the people in the back. Tennessee will join Texas Tech, Stanford, and Houston at the inaugural Round Rock Classic this weekend. That's February 21st until February 23rd, and all of it, every pitch of it, is going to air live on FloBaseball.tv and the Flo Sports app. Evan, really appreciate the time, my man. Wish you guys the best of luck this weekend and the rest of the way. Hopefully we catch up in Round Rock.
Yeah, I appreciate it.